Hi, welcome back everyone. This will be episode two of my, I wouldn't say tutorial, but a little sharing of Uma Musume. So I think today we'll go about talking a little bit about the gacha and the cards you can get. So the character and the support. Uh, Notice the last video I probably talked for too long. It's probably a little boring. It goes into a little deep into the race mechanics. But I can assure you, I was just barely scratching the surface. There are tons to cover if you really want to be an expert. But today we will be just simple about characters, about the support card, and that's it. And I think next time might do a run on the URA script and to show you how to train the character, etc. So on the bottom left here, you could go to see the characters that you have, or you can train and also your support card. So we'll go to the characters first. So let's see our characters. So let's start with Augury Cap, which is one of the very early character. So this is Augury Cap. Basically, the page of every character would be the same. Uh, you would have five stats on the top. Going from left to right will be speed, stamina, power, willpower, intelligence. I'm not too sure if that's the translation they use. I guess it will be guts rather than willpower and maybe wisdom instead of intelligence. And then down here you have the aptitude, and here you have the stat bonus, and then lastly you have the skills here. So let's talk about the stats first. So you have five stats. What do they mean? What do they do? So first of all is speed. Speed is basically your most important stat. It doesn't determine how fast your character is going to run, but it actually determines the terminal speed. So remember last time we talked about the race mechanics, how your character don't run full speed uh, all through the race. They speed up a little, go to like a medium speed, and then towards the final leg, they speed up again and they accelerate, and then they go to the terminal speed. So this stat determines the terminal speed rather than the speed in the middle leg. However, this is basically the cap of how fast your character could run. So you want it to be as high as possible. This is the most important stat for your character. You always want it to max out if you can. So this is speed. Stamina is basically how fit you are to run the race. So if you're running a long distance race, you need more stamina. Short distance race, you can do with a little less stamina. So that's kind of how it goes. So stamina is kind of important. It affects if you could finish the race or not. It also affects your acceleration actually. So if you don't have enough stamina, your character actually would start to accelerate later. So remember the graph that we had last time. So instead of let's see if I can pull it out. So yeah, instead of having your character accelerate when the final leg begin immediately, your character will actually accelerate at a later time. So me so yeah. So remember this chart. So yeah, if you don't have enough stamina, so instead of starting to accelerate right where the uh, final leg begin, your character actually will start to accelerate at a later time, which you have a shorter time for acceleration. You might not be able to reach your terminal speed. So that's why stamina is kind of important. The next stat is power. This basically affects your acceleration. Higher power means you accelerate faster. So getting back to this curve, so if you have higher power, you go to your terminal speed faster, kind of like this dotted line if you have higher power. Uh, so stamina and power, they're important, but not as important as speed. And sometimes like you could technically have skills that could kind of complement that. Guts, Guts is a very tricky thing. So right now, with the current race mechanics, Guts is not very important. Guts kind of work like stamina. So if you have higher guts, it helps you to run a longer race. But guts actually do more things. So if you have, for example, two characters running the same place, which one could go faster? That actually determined by the by guts, but at that comes probably after the first anniversary once they change up how guts work. So right now, guts is you could say a dumb stat, but in the future it would be more important. Uh, might be the second most important stat with our like the second, third anniversary. It got quite important. The last thing is wisdom. So wisdom does quite a lot. I would say right now in the game, this is the second most important stat. However, you can't do a lot at this moment. So if you're running a longer race, you might have to dump wisdom. So what does wisdom do? So first of all, wisdom affect how your chances of your skill proc. Uh, so for example, you have a skill. So beside the unique skill, all these others, and also these green icons skills, all the skill have a chance to activate or not. It's kind of like a dice roll. It's determined by your wisdom. The higher wisdom you have, the higher chance you activate the skill. If you have a very low wisdom, your skill won't activate, and that could affect a lot of things. The formula, I'm not going to go deep into the formula. You can probably find it online. But even if you max out the wisdom, you only have like a 90 something percent of for each skill to activate. It's not guaranteed, even if you max out wisdom. But still, having a high wisdom is important. The second thing that wisdom affect is when the character is running, when it's not running in the front, like there's some other characters in front of them, whether they will bump into the other characters. So let's say you are running like second place, third place, or like later in the like late or further back in the line. When you try to accelerate, you might run into character. Wisdom determine if you can pick the right course to avoid the other character. Because if you bump into the character, you can't accelerate and you wasted that acceleration. So wisdom, having a higher wisdom basically increase your chances of winning because you avoid the other character. You're running a different course. Another thing that wisdom actually does, remember the middle leg that they are not running at a top speed. So your character, like the speed this part, is actually partially determined by wisdom. So having a higher wisdom actually, especially for if you are not running the front runner style, you're running like a late surger or end chaser, having a higher wisdom actually puts you like further up in the queue, and so you have a better chance of like not being blocked by others, and when you accelerate at the final leg you actually could accelerate and get further in the race. So those are the five steps. So speed most important, stamina important, more important for longer distance race. You should always have enough, you might have to dump wisdom or other stats so that you have enough stamina. Power affects your acceleration, so they're important as well. Guts right now doesn't do a whole lot, so don't worry too much about it. Wisdom affects a lot of things like skills, activation, affects your like speed during the middle leg. So that's very important as well. So that's the stat. Now, about the aptitude, the next thing very important about character is actually the aptitude. So the first role is the surface of the racetrack. The first one is turf or grass. The second one is dirt. Now, the second role would be the distance that it runs in. So the first one is short distance, mile, middle, and long. So you could have like a turf race, short distance, turf race, mile. You can have a dirt race that is middle distance, short distance, etc. So technically there are 8 types of race if you combine the surface and the distance, but usually dirt groups all together, and most of the time dirt is only mile race. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And then the last one is the style of running. So you have front runner. I think this one is called pace chaser, late surger, and then end closer. So the different running style. So all these 10 things, they could go from G for girl, to S. Normally, you won't be able to achieve an S for a character. It needs to happen during a training to make it an S. So I'll show you later, and I'll explain more when I go to the genes and things like that. But basically, it can go from S to G. And how do they affect you? So for turf, actually, it affects your acceleration. So having A gives you a times 1 multiplier for your acceleration. B, I think it goes to about 0.8. Let me pull it up here. So for 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 turf, yes, for the surface, S, your acceleration would be 1.05 times of your stat, of your base stat, and then A would be 1, B will be 0.9, C will be 0.8, and then if you go to G, it will be 0.1. So if you are G on a surface, your acceleration is 10% of your opponent. So that's why the aptitude is important. For distance, it affects your terminal speed and also your acceleration as well. It doesn't affect acceleration as much as the surface, but it affects it still. And then for the start running style, this affects your intelligence. So this is actually the least problematic thing. So if you are having problem when winning races, especially if you're using an end chaser like gold ship or like a late surger like a winning ticket or vodka, and then you have problem winning the races, try doing front runner, even though it has a G or F. It affects the intelligence, but not a huge factor, especially when you're training. And putting you in the front runner prevents you from bumping into other people and losing your acceleration. So if you, this is a little hint if you are having problem training. So that's about aptitude. And then the bonus stat, this is the bonuses that you would get when you do a training. So if I'm training on Groovy Cap and when I do a speed training, it would be 20% more. It had a 20% bonus. So my speed training is more effective. So this actually would affect how many support card you will bring for each type. So for all the character is the bonus always add up to 30%, but it depends on where the bonus went. So right now, Augury Cap is a very good character because it has bonus in speed, it has bonus in power. There are some other character, say for example, Rai Shower. This is one of the first starting character. She has a 20% bonus in guts, which, like we said, we talk about guts is not that useful at the beginning of the game, or at least at this version, and having 20 bonus goes to waste. So that's why she's not a great character in terms of not very easy to use. So that's about stat, aptitude, bonus, and then lastly skill. So each character would have a unique skill as kind of the signature thing, and that's the animation or little clip you see for each of the characters. That's when they activate their unique skill. Unique skill are very useful because as long as you meet the requirement that's inside, it would activate regardless of your wisdom. Unlike all the other skill except the green one. The green one are usually tied to the field that you are running, the racetrack and etc. And they would activate if it meets the condition. All the other skill would have to go with the wisdom check. So if you fail the wisdom check, they don't activate and the skill doesn't work. Each character will also have two of these gold skill, which sometimes you might not see. That's because you need to come to here to awaken them. So for example, let me show you an example. So for example, this is King Halo. I haven't activated any of her skills. So when you go into her page, she doesn't have those gold skill, the awaken skill. But what you can do is you awaken her, which would open up for you to choose or open up for you to use. So that's skills for characters. There are a lot of skill. I think we'll go to another video on just the skill alone. Now, another thing that I would say Uma Musume is different with a lot of other games is with the character, the stars that you see. So if you go to all the characters I have characters with 5-star, characters with 4-star. So regardless of how many stars the character have initially, they can all go to 5-star. So character can go from the starting star. So for example, Augury Cap will start with 3-star. Some other character like Urara. This is one that only comes out later, but you can see she started with 2-star only. But regardless of that, every character can go to 5-star. What you need to do is when you do your gacha roll, and then when you get the same character, you will get these little gems. You could exchange them if you have the character, or when you roll the same character, you get more. And what you do is you spend these fragments, and then you can up the star. It's not too important, to be honest, to up the star. It gives you a higher stat. It makes your unique skill one level higher, but each level, if I remember correctly, is like maybe point something percent. Like if it gives you a 2% acceleration, then it goes to 2.2, 2.4, something like that. So it's not too important. So don't worry about the star too much. Although for the 1 or 2-star character, you might want to level them up if possible, because that ties into training and inheriting them. So you can actually inherit your parents and sometimes your grandparents' unique skill, and that's kind of important. One of the character we do inherit a lot is actually right here, Machiro Lion. Um, her unique skill is very useful, but she started at 1 star, and when she's 1 star, you can't inherit this unique skill. You have to level up her to 3 star and go to inherit her unique skill. Also, going from 1 star or 2 star to 3 star also unlock the costume. That's another thing, another perks that you have. So that's kind of about it about characters. Now let's go to support card. So support card right now there are 6 type of support card for most player. It will later go to 7, but 7 type is kind of the same as the 6 types. And all the support card comes in 3 rarity. So they go from so let me show you. So you have the owl, which you will get a lot. And right now, you probably at the beginning of the game you have to use some of them. You shouldn't be not using them anymore. Then you have the SR. Probably at the first couple months, this is what you would use the most. There are a couple pretty nice SR that are comparable to SSR. And finally, the SSR, which are usually like once you are like a year or two into the game, you probably would just be using SSR. So unlike the character, which can increase the star number, like you can't change the R card to SR or SSR. They always stay at the same rarity. Also, if you get the same support card, you could put them together, and then that would unlock like more stuff. So for SSR support card, if you have only one, like this one, let me show you. You can only level it up to level 30. And then if you limit break it, then you could go to 35, 40, and then end up with 50. And you need 5 copies. So anything more than 5 copies, you're just going to sell it and then turn into other materials. So that's support card. And support card have the 5 stats that we talk about. So it has speed. Speed support card. You can tell by the icon on the top right. Speed, stamina, power, guts, wisdom. So these are the basic 5 types. And at last, we have the friend or the companion. These are people who help you or train with you. Usually, they have pretty nice support ability. Like they make the training easier to succeed. They reduce the stamina you need for the training, etc. They some of them have certain special ability that are tied to the script that you would want to get. There's a 7 type that you will only see in the future. They're kind of like friend, but they are like a team. So that's about support card. So with support card right now, as you're training, speed is the most important. You most likely would want at least 2 speed card when you train, be it R, SR, SSR, use whatever you have. Stamina only do it if you have longer race. Power not very helpful. You could use them if you don't have enough card right now, but speed card cover power. I'll explain a little later. Guts are not very useful right now. Wisdom is another thing. If you do have some nice friend support card. Let me show you. For example, during the URA run, if you have this one, I think the name is Aoi, or her, Tetsuna, I think. Uh, these two are very nice. Just bring one. You don't want too many friends because they don't really help you train. When you do a training, they provide other benefits. So you don't want to overload on these. Just keep one. So that's kind of about support card. So next time we probably will do a run. I'll show you. I'll probably just use some SR card and show you how to do a run. And as we do the run, I will explain like why I choose certain thing and how to do a run, etc. So I think that's all for this time. Have a wonderful day and see you next time.